A 2-for-1 special, huh? Let's see how badly Nigeria's getting violated. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. The other fun fact, you know what time it is. You know what time it is, even if it is a double creature feature. It's Peak Lock. Peak every week. You know we're pre-drawing it, and you know I'm excited. Now, I will admit, naturally, existing on the internet, I've heard two major things about both of these chapters. I heard one, we're going really, really fast, apparently. And it looks like this looks like we are, because is this the point of the game? Huh? Are we already 30 minutes? I thought we were like 10 minutes in the game. So like this it looks like this is the first thing I heard. Well, sure, we are actually pretty deep. 10 minutes, yeah, wait, hold on. What is that? Hold on, what? Did no one, it's still 2-0, no one else scored? Not really. What have y'all been doing for 30 minutes? What? Okay, sorry. That was the first thing I heard. The other thing I heard was something about like Gagamaru. So I'm assuming one way or another Gagamaru is about to absolutely blow my brains out. But not like that. But would that be the case, let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 317 and then eventually 318. But chapter 317 first. I've got this on lock. So let's see. With 2 back-to-back goals, the young Japanese team is in the lead with 10 minutes left in the first half. That is crazy. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I know one of the biggest complaints about the Neo Aegis League was its pacing, right? Like I do get that. And notably, I think, admittedly, I'm kind of biased because, I love to yap about Blue Lock. And thusly, the more Blue Lock, the more yapping. So like, I have a weird yet very clear symbiotic relationship with the manga where, like, I don't mind Nomura Sensei and Kanashiro Sensei take as much time as you need. But I will admit, pacing-wise, this does make sense. Especially since it seems like Nigeria's just going to be buns, right? Like, they're going to have to literally be booty butt cheeks. And if they're going to be booty butt cheeks, there's no point in wasting a bunch of time. And especially with how, like, and it really depends. Do we think that Kanashiro Sensei is trying to fit within the 150 chapter thing? Like, obviously, stage 1 was all the way up through the U20 match. Stage 2 was in the Aegis League. And now, arguably, stage 3 or Act 3 of Blue Lock could technically be like, well, not Act 3, because Act 3 would imply like the final act. I don't think the U20 World Cup is. But, like, if we're still trying to fit within 150 chapters, I especially get us blitzing through some games. And Nigeria's a game to blitz through. Unfortunately, with just how Nigeria has been set up, or their lack of setup, ironically enough, it makes sense that we're speeding through this game. And I'll admit, the only thing that's kind of weird, though, is the fact that Japan hasn't scored again. Like, I'm not sure how long it took Rio to score, but I swear it's like, in the first 5 plays, they got 2 goals in, and they haven't scored a single time since. So, we may have skipped into the future, and Nigeria actually developed some defensive capacities or abilities, I guess. I don't know. Because that's actually kind of crazy that the score is still 2-0, but it's been 30 minutes. Or no, 35 minutes. There's only 10 minutes left in the first half. So that's interesting. Let's see. With 10 minutes left in the first half, can Nigeria make a counterattack? Will Japan pull further ahead? I mean, like, I want to pull further, but I heard this is one of the sad things. Sometimes I do wish I could, like, cease from the internet for a little bit. If I didn't hear about Gagamaru, I would have hope of somebody scoring. But since I just heard about I didn't hear anything about scoring. Notably, I'll always hear something about scoring. I don't think anyone scores these 2 chapters. But let's see. Will Japan pull further ahead? What can I read? Time to battle it out for the last 10 minutes of the first half. Alright, so Onazi, restart. But like, so wait. Restart off of what? Is this meant to... So wait, the Bachira and Rayo goals took 35 minutes? Did real? So yeah, maybe, because if this is a restart and they're like doing this, unless there was like a timeout that we skipped, I don't think, but even then, I don't think you do like a restart from middle of the pitch like this. Off a timeout? What? I'm actually now confused. So like, was that actually 30 minutes? I mean, still, no, regardless, the pacing is increased, and I get why the pacing is increased. Whether we are trying to fit in 150 chapters or not, right? Do I legitimately think we're gonna fit 150 chapters for the entire U20 World Cup arc? How long is this match gonna be? This is chapter 317, and 318 presumably will still be first half of this match, I'm guessing. Or maybe this chapter will end with time up, right? Maybe. But with it being the case, let's see. If, let's say this match lasts for another 5-6 chapters, assuming we're really paid. Because let me think, right? We started like chapter 314, part 1, part 2. So like it's chapter 313, 4 chapters deep, and we're already halfway through this game. So we'll be generous and say the second half is 6 chapters. Maybe, but the pacing for the rest of the things is about to be insane. And I don't think we can, with Bunny being set up as an antagonist, with the whole Sei and Nagi stuff, with the whole idea of the third, whether that be is Kira or somebody, like I feel like it is like there's too much for it to be 150 chapters. But who knows if we're gonna keep it this lightning fast pacing? Who knows? Let's see. Time to battle it out for the last 10 minutes of the first half. After all this, wait, which voice did I give Kusa? Gosh, this is what happens when I don't record. I forget which voice I give which characters. Hold on. After all this, it's quite clear to me, without a doubt, Blue Lock is the strongest team we've ever faced. And like notably, that is Blue Lock. Like I don't want to knock down Africa and say like you're nothing but bums, but like I don't know. I need to see if anyone's sweating. Right? It's been 35 minutes. Obviously, Kuso's sweating, but I want to see if anyone on Japan is even sweating at this point. Like, are they? Was all of Africa really this non-comp, bro? Like the kings of Africa here, and they're bums. Let's see. Without a doubt, Blue Lock is the strongest team we've ever faced, and that source of strength lies in the 3 guys along the field center line. Interesting. And funnily enough, I feel like Aiku hasn't actually done much. Unless I'm tweeting, I don't think he's actually done that much. He actually got clipped on. It was Nico who came in. It was Nico and Aryu who actually came in. Karasu's actually had defensive plays, and then obviously Isagi. He hasn't scored, and that's another thing. 30 minutes into the match, Isagi's talking mad smack about I'm here. You can't do anything because I'm here. And not only is he not, he still hasn't scored. Like once again, unless this is fresh off the rail goal, and I just misinterpreted the first 35 minutes of the match. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. The 3 guys along the field center line. Yoichi Isagi, Tabito Karasu, Olivier Aiku. These 3 have the same high soccer IQ, take a broader view of the game, as they calmly use their intellect and logic to analyze our tactics, then initiate switches between offense and defense to control the structure of the match. See, like, this thing, I don't remember, despite this match being so short, I remember this moment, I do not remember this Aiku moment, but with it being the case, it is interesting. Kuso was able to identify half of the Metavision users. Keyword is half, because notably, we know that he didn't identify Hiyori, he didn't identify Reo, and he didn't identify Brain, who's the 6th one, Nico. He didn't identify any of these 3, which is funny, because he very specifically got pressed by Nico. So does he not, I guess he wasn't able to acknowledge the gains on the little guy were so much that he couldn't even acknowledge that Nico has a brain. But notably, for all those who were hoping that Kuso would unlock Metavision, I think that dream is kind of dead. We're halfway through the match, it may be over. But, with that being the case, I do genuinely wonder how, like, if this is the case, is this all Kuso could see? That's not that good. But at the same time, 30 minutes in the match, and it's only 2-0. So I'm very mixed on it. Like, maybe Nigeria may not be as buns because they've held the line for 30 minutes. And sure, they're down 2-0, but the way Blue Lock was moving, I thought we were like 10 minutes into the match. But let's see. On top of that unshakable foundation, are there 2 spears of unfettered imagination and explosive speed. Yeah, that is. You know what though? It's the hard thing, right? Notably, until we see France, and France is next, so France is probably gonna give us a back shot. But I keep saying that. I and many others keep saying that, but like, there's enough of the Blue Lock fandom that's like, watch France actually be kind of difficult for France, or no, watch Japan actually be a little bit difficult for France, and like, part of me. The only reason I'm hesitant on that, because now knowing that we're halfway through the match, this game is a lot more low scoring than I expected. No ring goal, no Isagi goal, and once again with this being halfway through the match seemingly, and from what I heard about Gagamaru being the main star of these 2 chapters, I'm smelling like no one's gonna score, like no one else is gonna score in the first half. Like my idea for this match was like it was gonna be a really high scoring game for Blue Lock, and then maybe Nigeria would get 1 or 2 goals, and then France would be, if anything, I kind of expected France to fully spec into not just what Nigeria does, but like what Blue Lock's idea is, right? An overwhelming opposing striker who kind of doesn't care about the defense, aka Loki gets his hands on the ball, or feet on the ball, obviously. He scores, and then Blue Lock does something crazy and scores, and then Loki scores, and then scores, and then it literally is a high volume scoring match. But France wins because they can just score more consistently. Loki's fast enough, and he's starting to like adapt to Blue Lock. But with only 2-0, I don't know anymore. Maybe France will just be a blowout. But no, they have to learn something. I don't know. We'll see. Well, they're two spears of unfettered imagination and explosive speed. Then there's the unpredictable, destructive genius. But then again, Rin also, I mean, obviously, he clipped farm Noble Alana, but like, Rin also, he hasn't done much, dog. Like, he's kind of been, him and Isagi both. Obviously, Isagi, you know, he's been like, core to the offense and defense in a way. But like, I don't know, man. For the strongest striker to not have, like, he had feet on the ball one time? Once? In this entire match? But the match has only been like 4 chapters. Like, I don't know. Let's see. Then there's the unpredictable, destructive genius. The imitative artisan. Ooh, that's kind of a bar. Wait a minute. Hold on. They make another Rayo video. That may have to be the bold text or in the title. The imitative artisan. That's all. Looking a bar. Let's see. And the cool-headed left-footed passer. But see, that's another thing. He already hasn't done much either. Which is weird. Like, I don't know. I was expecting like maybe a Hiyori Isagi goal. Maybe that'll happen in the second half. Very interesting. And with Rayo scoring, Rayo taking on more of a striker. Like, I don't know, man. Let's see. And obviously, I don't think now with Rayo scoring with Chigiri's Panther Snipe, I don't think we're gonna see Chigiri score this game either. It's like this game it's simultaneously still a blowout, right? Like obviously Nigeria's not comp right now, but at the same time, it's not as bad as a blowout as I thought it was. So shouts to the people who had faith in Nigeria to not get absolutely violated. Because honestly, by the end of the first half, I was expecting the score to be like maybe 4-1, maybe 4-0. Like I was going to be real bad, but I mean, I've seen people come back from 2-0. It's rare, but I've seen it happen, and not just like 2-0 in the football sense. I don't really watch football, but like down a decent amount by the end of the first half, but then still come back and cook. So like, it's not impossible. I've choked many times before in like everything, so I understand it. And the cool-headed left-footed passer, finally. Oh no, that's not what I was meant to do. Wait, there we go. And finally, the back line are the two contrasting elite defenders who couldn't be more unlike each other. Which is, I guess technically, yeah, because obviously their builds are opposite, short guy, tall guy. But notably, and I guess because Nico is more, and I think that is Kuso, once again, subconsciously acknowledging that Nico is a Metavision user, right? Because now, he did, but then again, he's naming all the characters on the pitch, so naturally he's going to clock all of them. But like, now I do believe he does have all the Metavision users, yeah, because he has Rayo acknowledged, he has Hiyori acknowledged, he has Nico acknowledged. So like, yeah, he's broken down all the Metavision users. But very specifically, I guess the way that Nico's portrayed himself isn't necessarily as a Metavision user, more so as like a little brute force tank. So that's why it's not clicking with Kuso. But yeah, realistically, Ryu's is very much a genius base. You know, he locks onto one guy with his judo spacing and just sticks with him the entire time. Meanwhile, Nico will run, fill in a certain gap, intercept, and then keep it pushing. So that is definitely two different play styles. And man, you know, a friend of mine told me, man, Kuso's only good at glazing blue lock. And I'm lucky. Let's see. Couldn't be more unlike each other. But the one holding together this hodgepodge. Whoa. Kuso. He just loaded up and fired. What? But the one holding together this hodgepodge. Wait, I can't even say it properly. But the one holding together this hodgepodge of circus freaks. Kuso. Hodgepodge of circus freaks? That's kind of crazy. Yeah. But then again, I don't even like, and obviously it's extra dramatized because, you know, we're reading a manga. But if I were to see a team like Blue Lock, I would also be extremely concerned. Just looking at, like, forget the defensive line. Forget Rayo and Hilo. Forget all that. Seeing Isagi, Rin, Bachira, and Chigiri all on the same pitch at the same time, and seeing the play, like, that would be genuinely like, what is wrong with you? And then you have everyone else who's insane in their own right. And he hasn't even acknowledged the defender yet, because it doesn't look like Nigeria's got close enough for Gagamaru to have to do anything. Or the goalkeeper. Nigeria hasn't proven enough comp to even be a threat to Gagamaru just yet. Let's see. But the one holding together this hodgepodge of circus freaks is undeniably Yoichi Isagi. His skills are born from his brain and adaptability. Unless we crush that ringleader, Nigeria can't. But see, and Kuso, buddy. But you know what? It is. I almost fell back in my chair. But it is kind of like a matter of, you don't know but when it's so clear, right? Like, it obviously Isagi has been facilitating, he's been supporting, he gave Bachira the pass, and you know, he's been there as a distraction. That's the thing, always a distraction. Kuso, I know why you want to focus on Isagi. He's the hero of Blue Lock, this, that, and the third, but, like, ultimately, by you focusing so heavily on him, you're not, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. 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 Like, I both times you've allowed, or not necessarily, not the first time. Well, actually, no, kind of sort of the first time, because it was Onazi focusing on Isagi, and then it was again Kuso focusing on a pass to Isagi from Reo and Bachira. So, like, it is that laser focus you have in Isagi that's really backfiring on you right now. Like, if you would diversify your bombs, just a little bit, just a little bit, then you may be able to realize that, if anything, you should kind of ignore it. And, like, this is a bad thing to say, but Isagi kind of has that, I feel like Steph Curry's a bad comparison, because Steph Curry's a monster. But he right now, Isagi sort of has, like, a gravity on Kuso, who's clearly the main offensive coordinator for Nigeria. And the issue with having someone with so much gravity on any sort of thing, right? And this even goes for my people who don't do sports all that much, but like me, who also doesn't do sports all that much, but like to play video games. In Smash Brothers, you know what determines gravity in Smash Brothers if you're playing with more than one person. Like, if you're not 1v1ing somebody, what determines gravity? Who has the most stocks and who has the best character? Suddenly, the person who has 3 stocks still, everyone's at 2 or less, is now the ultimate priority, even though all of y'all were freestyling before. You gotta zoom in on him. But what you'll do by accidentally focusing on the guy with 3 stocks is letting the other guy who either has 3 stocks or is low on 2 stocks prep in the back corner and get ready to cook you. It's me. I'm that guy. Whenever I especially remember when 8-player Smash came out, I was that terrible human being who would stand in the corner, letting everyone jump the one other guy, as I just charged Thor on in the corner as Robin. I was just like, And by the time anyone would notice, no! So, like, I do get it. There's sometimes where your brain will automatically go, okay, this is the guy. I gotta focus on this. But I think Kuso's a little bit too... He's a little too close-minded right now. And that's allowing Isagi to kind of get away with doing nothing. Well, obviously, once again, I can't keep saying doing nothing, right? In what little we've seen in this match, Isagi is facilitating. But is that over-focus on Isagi's facilitation and strength that is allowing Kuso to not realize that the whole team is competent without Isagi? Don't get me wrong, I agree with him. Isagi's adaptability and brain allow the entire team to raise their state of play. But the state of play of Japan, especially in comparison to Nigeria, is already so high that he hasn't done anything. Him and Rid, the two ace strikers, haven't scored, and the first half is almost over. Why? Because you're focusing too much on them, and you're letting the rest of the team just run wild. They're free balling, literally. In the case of Bacha and Ryo, they're just free balling, and they're scoring on you. They're holding you back. So Kuso, you gotta diversify your bonds, brother. You gotta diversify. Let's see. His skills are one for his brain adaptability. Unless we crush that ringleader, Nigeria can't win. And once again, it goes back to the idea of what I believe Kuso is overly focused on. He thinks, and it's funny, because, like, as people pointed out, and last week's second I pointed out before, it's obvious that Nigeria is just meant to be like a failed France, right? Like a strong midfielder, a strong striker, that's kind of it. Obviously, France is going to probably be more dangerous in many other ways, too. But, like, Loki and Charles alone is enough for France to be a monstrous enough group. And notably, obviously, Loki is likely just like Onazi, extremely fast but faster. Extremely good shooting, but better shooting. Like, ultimately, Loki's just going to be ultimate Onazi, and Charles is going to be ultimate Kuso. And they're actually going to work. And notably, Blue Lock is a system or a program that's meant to create the strong striker. So I think Kuso has this idea in his mind that everything needs to focus around one centralized striker. We see that with Onazi. We see with the whole idea of the hope being set up. But it's gonna backfire, mainly because focusing, and, like, I'm not even saying projecting what you do on other people and comparing someone else's structure to yours based on what you know and how you operate is a bad thing. Notably, I bounce, like, my own philosophies and ideologies off other people, and even just, like, my own, like, daily patterns off of other people all the time, and then I reflect and adapt certain things. For the longest time, I went to the gym in the afternoon after work. That's just the thing I did. Oh, I almost choked on my own spit. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry about that. But I used to go to the gym after work. But now, even when I'm on, like, 4 hours of sleep and I have to drive an hour away from work, I'm up at 4:40 in the morning every single day just to go get the gym out of the way. Because it's just easier. The gym, and you're like, and that was something that I got from somebody else. I was doing one thing one way and it was working just fine, but then someone else revealed to me the beauty of going early, and then I adapted that. But Kuso's refusing to adapt because he's so focused on his ideas, his idea of how this certain thing functions, even though he's been proven wrong twice over. So, let's see. Nigeria can't win this. Oh, okay, but here's an Onazi. Oh, and we're in another flashback. All right. But here, the Gagamaru glaze. This flashback is going to be enough. Oh, no. Let's see. Onazi. Oh, wow, Onazi. Did you play soccer before? Dang. No, that was the first time. You must be a prodigy. Whoa. You know what? Well, admittedly, I don't have a moment like that, but it is times where you just look at somebody, you're like, oh, well, I'm around like that. So I get that. And especially in their scenario, right? All orphans who lost their families, ultimately, they would automatically cling on. Why is that speech bubble going into his eye? But they would automatically cling on to the first bit of hope, and Onazi is that hope. So I get that. And it's clear that Onazi, he probably brought them out the trenches. Let's see. If we have Onazi, you think we can go pro? Okay, Shigiri? Okay. So wait, the midair trap. Shigiri gets in, but gets held back by Onazi. Past the... Is that Bello? I think it's Bello. Yeah, past the Bello. Hiyori get held back. Dream bigger. We can win the World Cup. Wobana. But then again, he's a center back, right? But then again, Roberto Carlos did exist. So defense does not mean you stay in the back line. But, interesting. And obviously, we had Lorenzo. Let's see. Then maybe we can turn this life around and get rich. Yeah. And, to be fair, it's fine. And that's the thing. I'm assuming they're still paid well. They'll be fine. But they're just not winning this match. Let's see. And get rich. Obviously, Obo. Then we can buy anything and go anywhere. Like tasty food. Or pretty girl. Whoa. Which one of you said that? It's a lower speed. Oh, no. Oh, Obama. Don't buy what... He's a child. He doesn't mean it that way. But don't buy... Well, I mean, if it's your money, do what you want. I wouldn't. But I'm not going to sit here and judge. Do what you need to do. Let's see. Pretty girls. I want to have a huge house. Oh, funny enough, me too. But then again, they're like... And it's funny. Because notably, I want a large family, but I'm also never giving birth. So if I ever lucky enough to get married, it's whatever the wife wants. My ideal amount of kids would be 4, unless I would need a pretty large house. I want all my kids to have their own room. But if my wife is like, hey, that first child was absolute agony, I'm never doing that again, then fine. But even still, I like to have a big house too, because I like to be able to have people and have family. Not too big house. I don't ever want a mansion. I don't want to ever wonder, hey, what is going on the other side of the house? I want to have a house that's big enough to support a large family, but not so big that it's a waste of space to a degree. Let's see. I want to have a huge house. Come on, guys. It's not that simple. Just going pro is crazy hard. That is true. Yeah. I forget where I heard this from, but if you ever think you're good at something, go challenge not a pro, because you're not gonna find them. Go challenge a D2, sometimes D3, and especially a D1 athlete. Them. I'm talking going D1 or D2 or D3. I'm not talking someone who's actually played D1, Division 1, but and notably, I don't play basketball, but I have friends who I've known for the longest time who play basketball. I've watched them go up against actual D1 college players. It was a massacre. Massacre, because there are levels to it, and that's why I always do find it funny, and I always like the joke, because notably I don't play basketball, but I do watch the NBA and stuff like that, and whenever I say, man, someone could have made that, I know for a fact in my heart of hearts I could have made that in a million years. These people they're built fundamentally different. The most bummy bench warmer you've ever seen in any professional sport would take you and everyone you know for a walk. That's what. We would get dog walked by the most random pro player ever, because they're just levels to it. So I don't blame Onazi being like, dude, it's not that simple. Let's see. Huh? But we got you, Onazi. Yeah, you're here, Onazi. Huh? So see, they got in his head. But see, and notably, there was a concept that was introduced a bit back about the idea of and it is a Nigerian concept, the idea of the older sibling. But now that we know that they aren't actually related, they're just people who sort of foisted these ideas on Onazi. But then again, you know what? I actually understand why they bet everything on him and why they fell into that. It's not because of that bit of culture. It's just the idea that they had nothing else, right? They lost their families. They had no hope. So Onazi was their only hope. That's a bit different. Because notably, the one critique I had for that is the idea that at least from my dash of Nigerian culture, the younger is supposed to look up to and attempt to surpass the elder, not fully rely on them. In fact, at least in some cases, being fully reliant on your elder siblings is actually like a bad thing. They're supposed to be like the boss of you in many circumstances, at least from my understanding of the culture. But, and my understanding and my lived experience. And notably, this isn't just like a sibling thing, this is like a familial thing. Essentially, the older you are, the higher you are in the family hierarchy, the more respect you're supposed to get from the youth. And despite being old, I am still relatively the youth in my family. So that's like, I do serve a bunch of like genuine respect up to those. And I was always told when I was younger to go work hard, be like them, surpass them, whatever. So like, I don't fully get the idea of fully putting faith and bets on one person. But I can understand in their scenario specifically why they bet everything on Onazi and why Onazi fully fed into that. Because if they were all hoisting their dreams upon him, there's no way he could let them down, right? He was alone, and these people became his family, and thusly he gave it his all, but it looks like his all just isn't enough. Looks like, huh? That's right. It's fine. You're here. I feel like I can dream now. I'm sure you've been chosen by fate. You're oh, he's not scoring. Yo. If Onachi scores a single goal in this match, it's actually gonna be more than I'm expecting. Because like the way they're glazing him right now, this is like it's like the whatever the opposite of a Chekhov Spagooter is. It's like, well, it may just be, well, no, literally the opposite. Like, it's up there, but you know it's never going to be used. Or no, like, it's as if someone, instead of, like, typically the idea of the Chekhov Spagooter is someone, or they're either at the start of a scene or a start of a film, like, there is a Spagooter on the wall. Or someone puts a Spagooter up on the wall. Like, and typically, putting it up there is better emphasis, because, like, that means, pay attention, it's going to come back later. This is someone walking up to the Spagooter, taking it off the wall and shattering it over their knee. And then you're like, oh, that's not coming back. And Onazi scored. Oh, no, it's looking a lot more like that. I was like, I'm sure you've been chosen by fate. You're a shining hope. I'm here. I'm here. Yep, luminous or not. So, yeah, this is the thing. He was so good in Africa. Yep, U20 Africa Cup champions. I'm here. But the world is just too big. Let's see. They all look so hyped, too. Let's see. Oh, yeah, so yeah, the pacing this match is... So this entire play took 10 minutes? Because this is the extra minute, right? The extra minute in the first half? So yeah, I guess we're just... The game's moving faster. That's fine. Backstory takes up way more time than I thought. Let's see. Time to drive it home. Onazi's weapon is this overwhelming momentum. Oh, interesting. So they do still speak in, like, weapon terminology. Onazi's weapon is this overwhelming momentum due to his extraordinary heart and lungs. Ah, okay. So that's what he thought you meant. His mobility, it truly is the idea that he has infinite stamina and is just very good. Oh, and above all, his natural jumping and... Wait, there we go. Let me scroll down a little more. His natural jumping and flexibility that make mid-air plays possible. Okay, alright. So he has infinite stamina, a really good speed stat, and great jumping and flexibility. So he's a fantastic all-around kind of player. But it's not enough. It's not enough. Unironically, we've kind of seen demons of his style in other players, and notably, well, the stamina is a good thing. It's just not. It's not enough. Let's see, because like essentially, Onazi is a smaller Agi, and Agi was not calm, bro. Let's see, his natural jumping and flexibility that make mid-air plays possible. The greatest reason why Onazi is a striker is that. Oh, okay. Okay, Karasu. Okay, Karasu getting clip farmed on. Are you getting clip farmed on? The duo getting clip farmed on. What? Okay, Kuzo. Is that? Oh, and Isagi and I could get clip farmed on. His ability to shoot in midair effectively doubles his shot area. I see the vision. That makes sense though. But notably, I guess it's because of how high he is in the air. Because we've seen a bunch of characters, like, do mid-air volleys before. Like, heck, Isagi's done it. So, like, and I would say Isagi has exceptional jumping ability. But he's been able to do mid-air volleys. That's the whole thing about the 50-50? What's it called? Two Spagooter volley? That's it. Then, like, so, notably, mid-air shots aren't too crazy, but let's see. Oh! Interesting. I'm surpassing you, Yoichi Isagi. You know, but then again, I will admit, Onazi's not sweating either. But then again, his stamina is his like major point. Let me go to the earlier. Nope, he's sweating. But let me see. Is Shigiri sweating? No. Yoshi's sweating? No. No Metavision. Karasu's sweating? No. No Metavision. Aiku, no. No one's sweat. Okay. Now I know sweat scaling is like the most nonsense. I forget who said it. Someone said sweat scaling has done more damage to the Blue Lock community than anything else. And I know. But to get into a little sweat scaling, and it isn't just sweat scaling. The fact that not a single Metavision user is using Metavision right now. We have 6, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 Metavision users on the pitch right now. Not a single one of them is using Metavision. And not a single Blue Lock player is sweating. Not a single one. It's over, dog. It's over. They're 45 minutes into a match, by the way. No sweat at all. They have not been stressed or pushed at all. That is embarrassing. Let's see. Okay. Oh, but here. Okay, so it looks like we're getting Gagamaru's trading. All right. So he's gonna block the shot. Let's see. Blue Lock Japan goalkeeper Gin Gagamaru. Jin, or is it Jin or is it Gin? Like I know Jin from like Gin and Tonic. I'm not sure if it's Gin Gagamaru. I feel like Gin Gagamaru goes better than Jin because like if it's more alliteration, or at least it feels more alliterative. Let's see. What voice do I give Gagamaru? Gagamaru so rarely speaks. Hold on, let me take a sip as I think of Gagamaru's voice. I have an idea. Bring it on. Oh, okay. So this is a letter. Gin Gagamaru-sama. You're still just using your talent to fight. Acquire a goalkeeper's body by undergoing some special batting practice. Oh, that's, I do love how everything in this universe is Blue Lock themed. Like this, like I've never seen a baseball fire machine shaped like this before, but that actually is smart, right? Like having him work with smaller projectiles that move probably faster. Like I'm not sure what the fastest like soccer balls ever moved at, but like if you can react to baseballs being fired at any decent speed, you can probably react pretty well. But then again, mix-ups are mix-ups. Let's see. Beep beep beep. I see. Baseballs. Oh, I see. Baseballs are smaller and faster than soccer balls. So this will hold my reaction speed. But actually, that is a good point that Yugo brings up. Gagamaru really, I mean, like, obviously he's been training and he's been getting more and more practice as a goalkeeper. But he kind of has fantastic English pencil. Oh, wonderful. But he truly has been relying solely on how naturally good his reaction speed is. Like, he hasn't had real proper training. And obviously, he was on BM. So, like, no one got real proper training from Noel. No. But would it be the case? In the end, it would make sense that as long as he hone that base talent even more, Gagamaru, who's already been cracked enough to compete with some really good strikers, giving him some more actual proper training that helps his reflexes, it would make him a monster. Let's see. Yep, and look at that. Our baseballs are smaller and are faster than this thing, and smaller than soccer balls. Just to hold my reaction speed. I feel like my eyes and body are working 1.5 times. I feel like I should make his voice deeper. I feel like my body, but then again, I don't know. I'll stick with the more just breathy voice. I feel like Gagamaru has a bit of rasp to him. I'm not sure what he sounds like in the anime. That's the thing. He really speaks. He doesn't speak that much. I don't know what he sounds like in the anime. Let's see. I feel like my eyes and body are working 1.5 times faster. Once I grab it, I return it to the middle. Once I grab it, I return to the middle. I was about to say return it to the middle. Ow, you gotta throw it back, but no, he just drops the ball. Let's see. Not just my head. Learn it with my body. And you know what, that is kind of a thing? A friend of mine who recently got into fighters, I was like, why are you getting into fighters now? Like, the game's almost dead. But she's like, you all play it, and I'm sick and tired of just sitting here watching all this all hang out. So he asked me the same thing that I remember asking my initial friend who got me into fighters all those years ago. He's like, dude, I don't know how you do all these combos without looking at the controller. I'm like, you literally have to make a muscle memory. You have to get so used to it that you don't even, like, you should not have to look at the controller. Your eye should always be on the screen. Because you never want to be looking down like, oh, am I doing this? No, you gotta essentially let your body start doing things for you. Obviously, you're still gonna be thinking, right? But you want to delete as much input delay as possible. And that input delay includes from you. You don't have to be, And now, notably, as a guy with humongous hands, like, for reference, I admittedly have been playing Hollow Knight. Well, actually, no, I have my PS5 controller right here, so this works. Even, like, the big behind, like, look at how big my hand is. This is a PlayStation 5 controller. It is fat. But even still, my hands are humongous. Alright? Like I got humongous hands. So I have definitely fat fingered before. Like, especially whenever I go to use the D-pad, I have fat fingered a punch before. The muscle memory isn't perfect, but at the same time, it is true that you do want to get certain things just embedded, like wired into you in terms of functioning, rather than having to like actively do things. The more you have to actively think, the more you're gonna slow yourself down. The more input delay. Let's see. Not just my head. Learn it with my body. Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry, Onazi. It's over. It's over. Let's see. Go! Shining hope! Oh, yo. Isagi literally dodged, dog. Yeah, it's over, gang. Look, well, maybe he didn't dodge, but look at this. Look at this. Isagi's right here. Onazi's mid-air on a shot. Look at where Isagi is. Look at him. He literally leans his head to the side. And I think this goes to an idea of Isagi and possibly even Aiku setting up for Gagamaru. Because I remember specifically, it was in the Ubers game, right? I think. Was it the Ubers game? Or was it PhD? It may have been both. I think there may have been an instance in both, because Gagamaru saves in both those games. But essentially, there were times where the defense would literally set up in a certain way that would still allow the striker to strike, but their shot course was so limited that Gagamaru would be able to react easily. This may be one of those cases here where Isagi and Aiku never actually intended to stop Onazi, because they knew as long as they body blocked in the right way, Onazi would have a very limited shot course that Gagamaru could easily react to. Let's see. Oh, nice shot. Oh, nice shot. The trajectory is tilting upwards. But my body's moving on its own. Oh no. He's unlocked it. Autonomous Ultra Instinct! But let's see. My body's moving on its own. Actually, the ball's moving slower than the baseballs. Yo. There's no way he went from saying, nice shot, to this puny shot. Can't get past. What? Hold on. Let me zoom out and make sure I'm reading that right. This puny shot can't slip past me, yo. Yeah. Talk that spooky talk, Gagamaru. I mean, he right though. I mean, he right. Onazi is a bum though. Look at it. Look. Onazi, am I a fraud? Yes. And there you go. Yep. End of the first half. I am Japan's guardian deity. And look at Isagi cheesing, dog. Not a drop of sweat on him. No metavision. It's over. But still, that's crazy. The first half ends with no Rin goal, no Isagi goal, no Chigiri, no nothing. They better go crazy in the second half. It's probably only going to last 5 chapters. What? Let's see. Yep. First half over. Japan versus Nigeria. Yeah, and that's the end of the chapter. 2-0. I've got the... And there it is. I've got this on lock. Oh, hey, Gagamaru. W-man. So, just as I predicted, and this is many others, right? I'm not going to say, I'm not going to pretend that I'm special. Because I literally made the poll, hey, y'all think backstories are going to do anything? And like 76%. Some of y'all were hoping for Nigeria. But like 76% of y'all were with me. Like, the backstory buff is not going to do anything. Unfortunately, backstory lock will not kick in for Nigeria. Which is a point. I don't think they got any more backstories. And with how fast the match is moving, I saw there was like one character that people were getting hyped for or had like faith in. That's not happening either. It's over. Game over. Though. Just wrap it up. Get us to Blue Lock getting their back blown out by France. But let's see. Well, chapter 317 was worthy. Let's take a look at chapter 318. Chapter 318, Yearning for Victory. Lock Japan is so strong. They're overwhelming Nigeria in both offense and defense. The first half ends at 2-0, which is still so low. All right, so hold on. And this is a question. Am I tweaking? Because once again, as I've continued my review, sometimes I sit back and I'm like, yeah, actually, I think I'm the problem. So I've had to like reevaluate some thoughts. So am I tweaking for thinking 2-0 is kind of low? I was at least expecting 3. I was at least expecting, like, if not an Isagi goal, give me a red goal. Give me some. I know they aren't trying. Give me some. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not mad that Bacho and Reo took over the first half. But, like, give me some. Let's see. And look at Gagamaru. Wow, he's just chilling. Let's see. And, oh, wow. And then me come back to the locker room. All right. All right. Nice save, Gagamaru-san. So far, so good. Nice game. That's my baby. That's my baby. Chapter's worthy because my baby showed up. We're not seeing any of these characters. You know what's the sad thing? We're probably not seeing any 3 of these characters till, like, England. I highly doubt we're gonna even see him in France. Like, there's no way that anyone's hitting the pitch in France. So thank you, kind of shows that say, and the more says we're at least drawing and giving us a little bit of our boys, because we were not seeing it for a while. You join the Japanese team locker room. I don't know or care about Fukaku from a can of paint, but I do like that him and Gagamaru are like goalkeeper gang. Swat. Especially considering, if I remember, their first interaction was Gagamaru literally admitting to Fukaku, gang, this is the first time I've ever done this for real. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing here. So, them actually becoming homies off screen, that's actually beautiful. Are you, Nico? You're doing great, but you went out a bit too far. Be more mindful of the defensive line in the second half. Okay, so that's why Isagi had to come fill back. Because I'll admit, one thing I didn't comment on last chapter. Why was Isagi in the back line again? You have such a solid defensive line. You do not need to be back there, Isagi. Maybe if you were on offense more, you'd actually score a goal before the first half ended. But it's because Nico and RU were overextending. But then again, I wonder who they're overextending on. Like, I guess they were probably just, like, really trying to get up in Kuso's cheeks, I'm guessing. And then Kuso managed to at least get past RU. So that makes sense. But even then, I don't blame them for being like, man, we might as well free ball a little bit. Because Nigerian, they genuinely are not comp. And it is unfortunate, but I can only say this because it's happened to me. So it's like a rite of passage. Sometimes when your comp isn't comp, you, how do I put this? Let's say you mess around a little bit more, probably than you should. Mess around a lot more than you should. Like you do things that you don't do. What did Braun say? I'm not even a bump shoulder fade kind of guy. Sometimes I try to TOD you. I'm not a TOD kind of guy, but I specifically remember. And it failed, by the way. I can't even say I've never specifically pulled up a TOD in a match. I don't think. I've been TOD before, but yeah, I've never TOD'd anybody. But I very specifically remember I went to TOD somebody, and after I dropped the combo, it was on like a weird whack team. So it was like GT Goku. It was one of my older. I guess technically it was a main team. It was my Blue Ku, GT Goku, and Trunks team. Literally after I dropped the combo, my homie paused the game, looked at me, and was like, "You've never done that before. You always say sparking to at least when one of your characters is down. At least when you're on your second to last character, especially when you're on your last." And like he knew this was like before all the Trunks buffs, where Trunks actually became really, really good. So like he's like, "You always save spark for like Trunks for you so you can do the same side mix. What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm not even a TOD kind of guy." But you were low key not playing good enough that I could experiment a little bit. I could freestyle a little bit. And I can only say that because I've been freestyling on before. Like, especially when I first started playing Guilty Gear, and even after a while playing Guilty Gear, when I didn't know how to play Ram at all, and I still barely know how to play Ram at all, I was getting absolutely flying. So don't worry, I know what it's like to be toyed with. So that's why I think Nico and RU were kind of freestyling. Let's see. Sure. Wait, no, Nico's voice is not that deep. Sure, but I'll go all out with my ball control. Yeah, see, that's the thing. They're like, yeah, cool idea. Because even they know Nigerian ain't like, once again, look, no sweat on Gagamaru, no sweat on Aiku, no sweat on Nico, no sweat on RU. Oh, okay, but there we go. Cross is sweating at least. So there we go. There's a little bit of effort. Likewise, I am ready for one-on-one battles. Okay, so Nico definitely seems to be like, man, I don't care what you say, Unc, I'm finna ball. At least RU's like, I'm gonna stick to the gimmick. Don't worry. But then again, at the same time, he's low-key seeking out the smoke. He's like, I'm ready. Though admittedly, RU, let me double check. Didn't you just get clip farmed on in a 1v1? It was a 2v1 too. Hold on, let me see. Well, to be fair though, Karasu was there trying to do a little ball control thing, so maybe. But still, we're 2v1 in Broski, and he still got the pass off. So like, are you actually ready for one-on-one battles? Don't make me press X to down. For reference, I mentioned this yesterday. I was so mad at myself, dog. I second tried Mantis Lords, bro. I was so hoping I could first try them. But they caught me lacking. I healed at the wrong times. I got my tells wrong. But I managed to second try them. What? Let's see. How much do I have left? I have Cloak. I have Claw. What is my next objective? In Hollow Knight specifically. Because once again, I almost, and I may do that. Like, notably, I do want to stream. So I may just stream like a quick playthrough of Hollow Knight. Like, I'm talking, I want to get that game done in like less than 10 hours. I want to like super speed through it just so I can say I beat Hollow Knight before I load up Silk Song. Like I literally, Silk Song is hiding right behind the manga right now. Like I can see it on my desktop screen. So like I do want to play Silk Song real bad because I'm already seeing like footage and clips and I don't want to get too spoiled on Silk Song. So I do want to actually be able to get through that. But I want to at least beat Hollow Knight before I play Silk Song. So maybe I'll quickly hop on stream and do that so I can show you all how much better I am, because I know Roman was there for the stream, so I was stuck on Mantis Lords for like multiple days at a time. But with it being the case, back to this. Sorry, I got mad distracted. Let's see. I'm ready for one-on-one battles. Exit out. Let's see. Well, we already got another point. Princess Iniori, you're too stuck on those cross passes. Try for your own goals. I actually am shocked that Chigiri wasn't going for his own thing there. Like, who's really stopping Chigiri? That is true. Like, I don't even blame Karasu for being like, "Hey, yo, gang." And they, especially to Chigiri, and notably I do like it's Karasu, who actually has like a good dynamic with both Chigiri and Hiyori, for him being like, "Hey, you two are built like that. Like, what are y'all doing?" And that is true. They should go in for their own goals. Let's see. Sorry for that horrible Karasu voice, by the way. Well, we already got another point. Princess Hiyori, you're too stuck on those cross passes. Try for your own goals. Shut up, Karasu. Just watch the second half. Chigiri, you better score then. Same thing I said about Isagi and Loki. Let the whole first half. Isagi, you better score. You were talking way too much smack to not have scored a goal, dog. Let's see. Shut up, Karasu. Just watch the second half. For real. You haven't shot either, Karasu. I'm not gonna do that to you. For real, you haven't shot either, Karasu. Which is true. But no, that is true. Karasu, you might as well. Because the thing, it's free order points. It's free clip farming. Nigeria's so much, you might as well. I know, you idiot. Hey, don't say you know and then not do it. Nobody's posting. They're all just debating about what comes next. Hey, Bachara, about your Chigiri. Don't go to critiquing Bachara. Or maybe, unless you're trying to steal tech or something, don't go critiquing Bachara. They scored. Let's see. These boys are growing at an incredible rate. Wait, oops. Because I'm looking at the manga and it looks different from my view on OBS, so I always have to keep checking back that what I'm reading is actually on the screen. Let's see. These boys are growing at an incredible rate. Things looking good for this first match. For the first match. First match against Bumgeria. I think my ancestors just like reached through me and tried to strangle me for saying Bumgeria. But they are. They're kind of funny, mate. But they were good enough to not let another point go through. I guess in 45 minutes. Let's see. Things looking good for this first match. But France, I can smell that. That was a big horrible joke. But I can smell Loki. He's gonna give us back shots. We can win this. Will. If there's anyone who's still holding out on a Nigeria tie or Nigeria win, pass it to me. I don't even do that stuff, but I need to get to where y'all are at, high up in the heavens. I need to reach there. So slide me a little show. Let's see. We can win this. At this rate, there's no point in just. Oh, okay, sorry. That's not his voice either. What? See, this is what happens. I don't voice that. Kiora, stop Aura. Speaking of, I actually do want to do the rest of the bench players, dog. I actually gotta. Now that I think about it, I gotta be more attention to the background. Are we gonna see Shido and Baro in this chapter? Let's see. At this rate, there's no point in just winning. We won't grow just by doing what we're good at. Let's try something new for the second half. I mean, like, it is kind of crazy, though. He's right. Like, you might as well free ball a little bit. And obviously, this isn't a practice match. This is a world stage, but Nigeria's kind of bums. So, like, there is a time where you test out the TOD, where you test out that new combo. And once you do it, once you perform it in, like, an actual scenario and not in the lab, suddenly it's like, maybe I can mix that in. Like, I remember, before I got down, like, Trunks optimal combos, I would always just go for the basic, 2M, 5M, jump, like the basic combo in fighters that everyone can do except for, like, special characters like Boo and Nappa and stuff like that. But then, eventually, I was like, okay, let me actually get in the lab and be optimal with it. But then, I just never did it. It was like a lab combo, right? Like, I could do way more damage, but I never really got down the optimization. But then I started pulling it in matches. Sure, I'd mess up a whole lot, but hey, it didn't matter. I had the leeway, I had the flexibility. And then it just became part of my basic moveset. And that's the thing. You got to keep experimenting. And that is kind of how you evolve your playstyle. You can be good at the same things you're good at, but keep evolving, and that's how you grow. Let's try something new for the second half. Huh? Well, alright. Like what? Botcher's like what? I've kind of been free balling this entire time. I scored, Isagi. What have you done? We practice it a bit. Like having nobody in the front and shooting from the second or third rows. If it works, we'll have more attack variations. But at the same time, you can still be in the, like, notably, unironically, despite me getting on Isagi Rin's case, y'all still are good bait. You might as well still be up there. And then just let anyone... And in fact, that's kind of what already happened. Kind of, sort of. Because, like, Bachira wasn't in the front. Neither was Rayo. They were both running parallel at best. And then they scored. So, honestly, they kind of... And I tell you, maybe it's different, though. Maybe it's different. Maybe I'm misunderstanding Isagi here. But technically... Well, he said second or third rows. And I guess Rayo and Bachira, when they both scored, they were in the front. They weren't, like, using their super crazy long range. So, like, maybe... But honestly, I kind of say that, Isagi, you haven't scored, buddy. You in the front hasn't actually done much offensively. Other than, obviously, he facilitated the offense. It was, and like I mentioned, his gravity in last chapter. But he hasn't, like you haven't cooked anything too crazy to say that you should be switching up, buddy. You need to score before you start talking about getting out of the front row. Let's see. It would definitely be interesting to try it, but it's risky, too. I think shutting them out... Oh, wait, besides, that's funny either. I think shutting them out and claiming a solid victory would be its own experience. And, like, yeah. But at the same time, the safe way kind of isn't the Blue Lock way, for one. And for two, you kind of want as many goals as you can get from as many people as possible. For the case of hypothetically getting a tie against England or losing to France. Like, you do want as many goals as possible. So it seems like Aiku's suggesting, like, let's keep playing it safe. You know, we'll keep playing the game we played in the first half. We stay up 2-0. We win. Definitive. Solid victory. We're good. But let me see. I'm guessing he's going to be like, no, we should ball out. Let's see. Then let's do both. We'll try something new. And as we make sure to get 3 points. But like, I get 3 points as in 3 more points, or get 3 points as in get up to 3-0. You better mean, like, actually 3 more points. Because Isagi, only 3-0 on a team as buds in Nigeria, that's kind of bad. Let's see. Well said, egotist. Easier said than done, Isagi-kun. Even if we're using experimental attacks, then we'll need to alter our defense accordingly. Right, so let's adjust that too. I'll suggest it to Ego-san. You really think we can do it that suddenly? I actually do like that Kurasu, the crow calls. But, oh, okay, and that's Ego saying, oh no, that's not Ego. That's Rin. Okay, Rin. But it is true, right? Like, you kind of need some ball. And even if you don't have to adjust your defense accordingly, freestyle it just a little bit. Yep, none of y'all are using Metavision. All 4 of these Metavision users barely use Metavision all the first half. Y'all are fine. Y'all are so fine, y'all might as well ball. But let's see. Rin saying I'm in? Rin wanting to work together? Let's see. I'm in. Just winning doesn't feel good. So we'll destroy them in a new way. And I still haven't scored yet. Yeah! Actual facts. That kind of blows my mind, Rin. That is actually insane. But you're right. You haven't scored yet. Let's see. So we'll destroy them in a new way. And I still haven't scored yet. Don't think I'll be satisfied by just rolling over and doing tricks for you. If he had said rolling over and doing tricks on it, I think I would have fallen out that chair. But Rin implying that he's a dog, I mean, you do be panting and have your tongue lolling, dog. So, like, unironically, a good, pretty apt comparison. Right. That is not Isagi's voice. I'm sorry, all the voices are offense for you because I reviewed Blue Lock in 2 weeks. Let's see. Right. Yeah, you egotist aces. Hey, Haiku, don't knock the hustle. This is why you fell into their thrall anyway, dog. Might as well ball. Let's see. Oh, never mind. So Ego is still on board. That's good. That is not... I'm a scientist. Experiments are what I do. Yes, that's good. Protecting our lead with a balanced approach would betray our... And that's it. That's the exact thing, right? So that is true. The idea of scoring more is the foundation of Blue Lock. So just trying to keep the lead safe, that would not fit with how they play. So I'm glad that Isagi pointed that out and Ego agrees. Oh wait, but here's Otoya. So hold on. Did I miss any other background characters? Okay, so we have Kiora in the background. We now have Otoya standing here. What's it? That's good. Protecting our lead with a balanced approach would betray our philosophy. All of you, keep aiming for goals and use every last second for your own evolution. It's funny how far the Ego voice has actually gotten from the Vexen voice. Obviously, I did the Vexen voice line trigger, which is my way to get into certain voices. It's like the ho-ho for Mickey. But I think I've added so much gravel to Ego's voice, and I've done it consistently enough that it doesn't even bother my throat as much as it used to. Before, like, getting any sort of gravel in my voice, especially when I was trying to go that low in the register, now it's just a little bit of a hum in the back of my throat. But let's see. All of you, keep aiming for goals and use every last second for your own evolution. That is Blue Lock. Here's the plan for the second half. Okay, so Ego still does have a specific plan. Let's see. Oh, but we're cutting away? Wait, no. Okay. So, Yuki Maya, Benchi Maya, Zanbetsu, Rayo's playing. Okay, everyone else here is playing. No, is there not a... Hold on. Am I tweeting? Is there not a single Baro or Shido signing? Not even a Kunigami? Say, where? Oh, nah, there's no way. There's no Crocodile's gonna be so... Y'all guessed who I was talking about. Well, the person I want to see the video. And he was, in fact, mad. He was, in fact, very mad. But... Crocodile's gonna be so mad, dog. Is there seriously not a single Baro cameo, dog? Really? Like, and maybe just because I've become a recent fan of Baro, but this is bad. Oh, but then look at this. Look at everyone being fresh and chill and not sweating at all. No Metavision. Bello, soaked in sweat. Random, soaked in sweat. Obabana, shirt off. Kuso, soaked in sweat. You're all buns. Let's see. It's no use. I can't do the Silver voice exactly. Another voice, I wish I could reach into the voice actor for Silver's throat, grab that voice, and just... Tasty. And add it to my repertoire, but I can't. But I love hitting the... It's no use! Let's see. It's no use. We can't win. At this rate, we're gonna lose. Oh, you don't... Oh, you... Oh, Abana! Oh, sweet mother... Oh, Abana! Your wisdom! Your intelligence! It's astounding! That's crazy! It's almost as if you have a functioning pair of eyes that you're buns! Let's see. Who are you? What is even your name? But we're never getting it. What should we do in the second half? Wait, you know what? Since that's... Oh, but wait a minute. Yo! Gump, why do none of them have last names, dog? Are you an orphan too? Why does no one have last names? Though the main four, they've accused me of not having last names. They're orphans, even though they should still have last names. But Gambari, well, you do look mad clean. Admittedly, you do have a mighty fine forehead from one forehead to another. But admittedly, then again, I don't know enough about hair. Are these braids or locks? I'm not sure. But essentially, the hair and the protective style goes crazy. You Gambari. Let's see. But since this guy is a random, what should we do in the second half? Tell us your thoughts, coach. I feel so weird. It feels so weird doing no alteration to my voice. And admittedly, all the voices I do are just like slight alterations or slight pitch shifts to my own voice. Because shock horror. That's all your boy can do. But it still is weird just to like speak as me. What should we do in the second half? Tell us your thoughts, coach. Let's see. Wait, hold on. This guy definitely has maybe not the same rasp as the Ego, but definitely has like that same bass. Let me get in there. Hold on. Blue Lock isn't messing around. The talent to control the game's flow and score goals. That Yoichi... But he hasn't even scored! Oh, I get it. I know. Specifically, he said to control the game's flow. And that is true. Isagi has been pivotal from what we've seen in the match. He has been pivotal to controlling the game's flow. But, like, Gambari. Chief, he's not even the captain. He's not even the captain of the team, dog. Focus on other things. Focus on, like be free, dog. Like, to have even the coach glazing a man who hasn't scored a single goal, who's touched the ball, like, what, twice? At least from what we've seen. He's only touched the ball like twice. And he's the center point, not the two people who scored on you. I was like, Nadyuichi Isagi is something else. Our usual methods aren't effective. Onazi isn't effective. Yeah! but like, and notably, that is, at least for my minimal understanding of pro sports, that is actually how it is sometimes, where like, teams will so heavily spec into one player that if that player isn't performing, the team just buns, right? Like, that's kind of... Now, once again, your boys only recently kind of got into the NBA stuff. I wasn't really a sports guy. But, you know, time changed, they got older. At least from my understanding, that was LeBron's biggest issue, right? For the longest time. Where he never really had a team around him. Like, ultimately, the team was LeBron. And if LeBron couldn't do it, then the team couldn't do it. Like, there was no way. And to see that here, it does make sense. And that's not just like a thing for basketball, but like same thing with like any major star, right? Like if Messi suddenly couldn't perform, I'm assuming his team's value drops a whole lot. If Nikola Jokic, well then I went back to basketball. If Ronaldo, same thing. Like, I'm assuming if your star player cannot perform, then usually your potency will just drop a lot, unless you have like a super team or like a really balanced team. Like, for example, I think of the 2017 Warriors, going back to basketball again. Like, it didn't matter if Steph was having an off night because KD was there. It didn't matter if KD was having an off night because Steph was there. It didn't matter if Draymond was doing good because KD is like, there was Klay Thompson back when he was crazy. Again, he's currently dating Megan Thee Stallion. So ultimately, who's winning? Who's winning? I saw a bunch of people making fun of Klay Thompson, and then he what is it called, like hard launch? He like hard launch Megan Thee Stallion, and then I was like, well, darn. I know which one of us is it. So who's winning? But would that be the case? There are cases of that, and I'd say Blue Lock is not necessarily like a super team, but kind of in that way, where ultimately everyone's viable. There is no over reliance on one. They're overly focusing on Big Yoichi, which is expected, hero Blue Lock and all. But because of that over focus, it's like there's a mental block to the fact that the rest of the team is also cracked. And like Kuso started to understand it by focusing on the center line, but like everyone over there is cracked. Kuso, you got out muscled by a 15-year-old dog. Everyone over there is cracked. I was like, but that is crazy to tell this probably like a 19-year-old at most that he's not effective. Dog, do something. Though, Millie, you do look mad clean. This hasn't happened before. It's really bad. This is the world. So yeah, this is their first experience with the world. But then again, I get that, right? And that's the big thing that Ego was worried about, the Blue Lockers having like a no experience with the world. So that he made the Neo-Aegis League, and then he had Isagi study the world. So ultimately, they could be prepared for a comp like this. But obviously, Nigeria's not the comp they're trying to prepare for. Nigeria's but everyone's good now. And like, here's the thing. Come in close. I got a secret to tell you. Hey, are you listening? Don't worry, I'm right here in your ear. I'm so sorry if you actually have headphones on. I'm doing this, but this is for a bit. Obviously, everybody and their mama knew that this first match, except for the deniers, obviously, everybody and their mama knew that this first match was just gonna be nothing but an extra thick, layered, creamy Blue Lock glaze fest, right? Like everybody knew it was gonna be that. But I will admit, it's getting a little blatant. Kuso's entire character has been glazing Blue Lock. Onazi's glazing Blue Lock. You know, Onazi was glazing Blue Lock in last chapter. Notably, Blue Lock has been getting meat ridden to the moon and back. But that's what has me so heavy and ready to believe that France is going to be a massacre. And not in Blue Lock's. The way that Nigeria is giving Blue Lock this slop top of doom, despair, and everything unfair. Like, they genuinely need to be atomized. Like, France needs to Thanos snap them. Because they're being glazed so much. They're being put on such a high pedestal. And notably, we're only seeing the results of the training for about what? Maybe half the cast? Because we know Isagi's training, we saw that. We now know Gagamaru's training. We know Ryu's training, Nico's training, and then Pacho's training. And technically Rail's training as well. So we know 6 of 21. That's less than a third we actually have the trainings of. So like, in the specific results. So this being a super Blue Lock Glaze Fest, it does hurt a little bit just seeing Nigeria being reduced to Blue Lock Glazers, but at the same time, I think this truly is like an Icarus moment, where Blue Lock will rise up, they'll go crazy, they'll go stupid in the second half too, maybe Nigeria will get 1 goal or even 2 goals, but then Blue Lock's actually going to go crazy, and then Isagi's going to score, and then Rin's going to score, and then, I don't know, Ray or Shigeri's going to score, and then Hiyori's going to, like, I could easily see this being so much praise and glaze and hype for Blue Lock. Also, when they go up against the burning sun that is France and an unrestricted tweaking Loki, they get violated a little bit. Let's see. Blue Lock is so darn cool. Huh? Are you really glazing the guys who are watching us right now? Let's see. There are still amazing guys ahead of us here. Yoichi Isagi is here. Now hold on. Let me take a sip before I say this. This is gonna sound crazy coming from me, especially considering like it's either him or Kaiser. Like they're genuinely my favorite characters in the series. I genuinely think the manga needs to hop off Yoji's temple. If he had scored in the first half, meat rhymes and moon him back. But and I get why he's saying in particular, right? He's the ace. Isagi's technically the ace of the other team, or one of the twin aces. And naturally, you know, he's all about surpassing Isagi, who declared himself the hero of Japan and Blue Lock. So I get why the heavy emphasis on Isagi, but this is such heavy glaze for a guy who's touched the ball twice, at least to our eyes, dog. Isagi is here. He literally... and admittedly, it is kind of crazy and cool that Isagi traumatized the boy so badly that he's now flipping his catchphrase in the favor of Isagi. But still, man, I'm off, yep! I'm off, yep! Until he scores. Twice, baby. I was like, Onazi, hey, coach, you guys, what do you think makes Japan so strong? The fact that they're actually good. The fact that they're not buns. How about that? How about the fact that they can actually play the sport well? Let's see. What do you think makes Japan so strong? They have lots of attack patterns. You literally haven't scored on them once. All 11 are trying for goals. All 11? When did Gagamaru go for a goal? When did Nico go for a goal? When did Aiko go for a goal? When did Karasa go for a goal? Are you tweaking? Let's see. Exactly. They're all living for their own goals. Okay, so this is an interesting case, I guess. But you know, that is a message, and this is what a lot of people assume, that Nigeria would like awaken on its own, and like they'd all have to branch away. But I didn't think Onazi was going to be the source of the awakening, but seemingly he is. They're all living for their own goals. Why? Oh wait, no. This is Ego. Oh boy! There he is! There he is! The strongest bench warmer of today versus the strongest bench warmer in history. I see him. Look at him. He got his hair done and everything, only did not touch the pitch once in this game. Kurigami, no! Not even talking to Chigiri. Chigiri, please, go talk to your mans, bro. Go talk to your mans. I was like, why do people yearn to win? Have you thought about that? Dopamine? Satisfaction? Victory is kind of like a necessity in our world. Let's see. Huh? Well, because it feels... Yeah, dopamine. Well, because it feels good? Then why does it feel good? Dopamine? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, because it's proof that you're superior to others? Wait! We have the strongest bench warmer in history. The strongest bench warmer of today. And the strongest bench warmer of the future. Everybody get the beat and move your body. We got everybody. What's it? That you're superior to others? Right. But you know what? Actually, let me see what Ego says first before I get my own like philosophy on victory and why winning feels good. Let's see. Right. That's an instinct that's been carved into your genes. Individuals can only survive by excelling above others. This food is mine. Well, I'm hungry. I don't know what that voice was. The individual has a stronger and higher chance of producing offspring. So we're really Sheena's philosophy has always been right, dog. That's it. I'm strong. I'm into it. Give me your genes. Well, you know, this is gonna sound. We're an hour and 8, but then again, a lot of people do watch the end of the views, which makes me so happy. It's funny they get these big like this because but I actually, it's rare though. How many women have I run into in my real life that are actually like taller and stronger than me? I've run into women who are taller than me, but usually they're lanky. Personally, let me make sure no one's listening, except for y'all. Your boy Percy wants to marry a tall muscle mommy. So like, people be like, "Hey, pencil man, why do you go to the gym so consistently now?" Oh, I care about my health. I want to get my weight down. I just want to increase the gains to make sure I can take care of anybody in the future. And like, I'm assuming the kind of woman I want to attract wouldn't want like a non-muscular guy. Like your boy Loki wants to date a tall gym rat, very tall gym rat. If I'm not a tall gym rat, well, then what am I gonna do? So like, notably, this kind of dynamic, I want to be able to hit this with my wife on my arm, and then her hitting that with our kid on her arm. That's the dream. I want power all around. But at the same time, that would be a case of technically like survival. But let's say drawing out that survival instinct, and that is true, right? Notably, I've always wondered like what motivates me to want to do better than others, and it truly is that sense of proof, that sense of accomplishment. Like it's a measurable determinable way to determine superiority, when superiority just generally is very vague, right? Like when I beat someone in a fighting game consistently, I am better than them. But if I'm going 50-50 with them, if it's a coin toss every single time we pick up the sticks, then like I'm not sure if I'm better, I'm not sure if I'm worse. We're relative. And that's fine. It is fun to be relative. And notably, I do think it is always more fun to be relative in any sort of competitive thing. But that makes the victory all the sweeter, right? And it comes down to the idea of constantly wanting that approval. And even if it is just like approval on something silly, right? Like beating somebody in Fighters or in Smash Brothers or in Guilty Gear, it doesn't matter. It's just a fun thing we do for fun on the side. But still, it's something. It's something so core. And like Ego says, I do agree. It is somewhat carved into us, the idea that we want to succeed. And succeeding can come in a variety of different forms, right? It doesn't always have to be just victory in a direct physical case of combat. That's not a thing that most people do. But whether it be artistically, whether it be in creation of something, whether it be in video games, that need to win, it's built in. Let's see. Drawing out that survival instinct and creating the world's strongest individual is what Blue Lock is for. Okay. I want to beat Blue Lock. So why don't we try fighting like them? Because you're buns. Let's see. You mean trying to store our own goals? But we're not as skilled as you, Onazi. Yo, I want to see them all get clip armed on. I want to see every single one of them get clip armed on. Who cares? If you guys just keep giving passes to me, we're gonna lose anyway. You're gonna lose anyway, regardless. But yeah, he's right. So let's give it a shot. Right, coach? Huh. If you say so, Onazi. It'll be a challenge to help us win. So this is like... So he is a horrible coach, then. Then he's like, Onazi's buns now. We're trash. And then he immediately concedes to Onazi's first idea. Ego, while he definitely does have, like, free will for his players, he's like, hey, here's the plan for the second act. Like, he has a solid structure that he wants to give them. This coach is buns. He doesn't have anything. So... Kind of wacky. No philosophy of your own, just gonna steal another's. Kind of buns. Let's see. However, if all humans were to live solely by their yearning to win and prove their superiority, it would create endless strife, discrimination, and war. I mean, once again, let me make sure no one's listening. We kind of already have that. Not to get morbid, but like, it's kind of already how the world is. It is like I don't know. I cannot think of a single period where there's been like absolutely no wars on the planet ever. Unfortunately, they've only gotten bigger in scale too, and then discrimination's never gone away, and strife is endless. Let's see. So, to avoid that, humans create societal systems of rules and laws, and have evolved to treat all beings as fairly as possible. I wish that was the case. I like obviously, you know, society is society, and we've gotten better. But like, evolve to treat all beings as fairly as possible, huh? That's not true. Nowhere near it. Let's see. But to put it another way, a tepid world in which people live without yearning for victory is what people call peace. And I guess that is true in a sense, right? And notably, and it's funny, right? Because notably, I find myself seeking peace. This, in a way, funnily enough, this is my peace. Like making content, having a stable place of income, having a roof over my head, like that peace is true, right? Notably, I'm not out here trying to like prove anything to anybody. I just like to yap. So that is a good point, right? Ultimately, I suppose I am one of these people, and I also do really like sweets. I only ate donuts earlier before recording this, so like, he's been. Let's see. Even he's like, am I a bum? Let's see. That's why I keep appealing to your instinctual yearning for victory, so the true ego within each of you won't be snuffed out by this tepid world, and that includes me. So he's like, hey, if you think I'm not cooking, go crazy. Let's see. Blue Lock is an experimental device for lifting its subjects out of their peaceful stupor. Oh, but actually that's cool. That's cool. So this is a dualistic thing, right? It's not just drawing out Blue Lock themselves, but drawing out the instincts for victory and need for victory out of their opponents too, in this case Nigeria. Obviously not going to be enough, but still. And drawing their instincts and yearning out to the light. Now, yearn for victory, my lumps of talent, and I'll grant you a new formula. Do you know why soccer has this much power to entrance humanity? Oh, sorry, then that's the end of the chapter. All right, to answer that question, because this is kickoff, and I'm interested to see how this goes, but before, because you know I'm gonna draw, like these chapters are both peak back to back, but I think the reason soccer and sports themselves, and notably this is funny because I've only recently become a sports guy, very specific sports, right? Like I don't watch golf, I don't watch soccer, I don't watch football, I don't watch any of that. But I think the reason we get so much visceral pleasure out of watching other people compete is because it's like a watered down coliseum. In some cases, it's almost as bad. Like when you think about it, football is actually really, really bad. Like there's a reason a lot of them die before 50. CTE is a real bad thing, but it's that want to see others prove themselves and living through other people. I think that's why there's such like a deep fanaticism for certain players, right? Personally, I glaze people all the time, but it's weird for me. It's weird to say, actually, as imaginative as a person I am, I never put myself or like a picture myself as somebody else. I just picture myself in that position, right? So like I've never wanted to like literally be LeBron James, but I have pictured like posterizing somebody. Like that idea has come into my head, but I've imagined myself in that position. And I think that's what a lot of people do. They like either imagine themselves in those positions of dominating somebody else, putting that over, which once again feeds into that base human desire to prove yourself better, to be better. But also that fanaticism is what leads to such steep and sharp loyalty, where ultimately that person entrances you by their ability to win. And I think that's very, very important. But overall, a W chapter. So 2 W chapters, back to back. This video was super thick. Oh my word! But if you're all the way to this, is super thick video. Please do me a favor and leave path to victory. There we go. Something nice and simple. Path to victory in the comment section down below. I did thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that OK's will see you not miss out on any of the channel. Also, soon to have a Patreon below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. These exclusive videos, other content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include live reactions, or this is time to review, add variations of all my videos, and you can $20 Patreon, $20 member, or whatever video you want. Also, I'll link to my Ko-Fi, there's down below. You drop 5 to a short video, to a small video, or any means at all. Any support is always really appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching. Once again, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Ura, Alex Kenny, Enzo, Swift Strike, Autumn Mornings Lazo, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, Azo2404, and G Prosper. And I'd like to give a thank you to our line art tier patrons: Victor Raji, Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Dreadzoen, and A+A. I'd like to give a big old thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, Euchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. And I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: Jay Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz.